Okay, this is part two. I got caught off, so here we go. Flights, seat assignments, that will be taken care of when we get checked in the day of. Because we're a group, they handle us a little differently. I would love to check in beforehand, but they don't let us do that. So basically on our flight, what you need to know, this is pretty important. If you have an allergy, you can't eat certain things, let me know, or let the airline know 3 days before. Okay, that's important, and the baggage allowance is really important. I've said this already, I think twice, but make sure you know what you can take, and you know how big your carry-on can be, all that good stuff. Okay. All right, when we get there, our tour director, the amazing Paula, will be there to greet us with a cute little sign, just like you see in the movies. And then we start our tour right away. Staying awake that first day is kind of key. So that's why we keep saying, sleep on that plane. Sorry, you can hear my children in the background being loud. But anyways, let's move on. Okay, so back. Our tour director is fully dedicated to us. He's there to keep us safe. He's there to contact the offices in North America and worldwide. He's there to handle any difficult situation and to give us input into activities and suggestions and help us make this vacation the best it can be. All right, our hotels, smaller than the hotels in America. I think the most shocking aspect to European hotels is often the bathroom. That shower is just really small. So most of the hotels do not have air conditioning, or sometimes they don't even have elevators. If you are a person who gets really, really hot and you just need air, bring one of those little fans. You can get them at Walmart, Target, whatever. I like to carry those with me just to get some circulation. Wi-Fi is not promised. I will tell you, typically we always come in, there's a Wi-Fi code. Sometimes there's been a few hotels where we've had to pay for it. But you know, there's always a Starbucks somewhere in our midst, sadly, that we can pop into. And I do apologize. Hold on. Okay, I do sorry for all the background noise. You know, a mother with 3 kids, a dog, a cat, and a husband. It's crazy, crazy time. So back to the Wi-Fi. I like to use Viber. The people in my life do not have iPhones, so I cannot just get on Wi-Fi on my iPhone and text them. I have to use the app Viber. There's others ones out there. Check them out. But you know, if you do not hear from somebody in a few days, do not freak out. It'll be okay. Because really, the experience is to be out there and experiencing things that, you know, when you're on tour, not being caught up on social media. But there will be some Wi-Fi. I anticipate there will be. So don't fret too much about it. It just may not be every day. Okay? It is time, though, for you to check with your cell phone provider. The last thing you want is to come home to a very large cell phone bill. Typically, when I get abroad, the first thing I do is leave it on airplane mode. I never take it off. I turn off my data and really only use Wi-Fi. One time when I was traveling, I had my data on. I landed in Paris. I forgot to turn my data off, and I left on for about a half an hour, and it cost me $80. So you don't want that to happen to you. So I usually contact my cell phone provider and make sure the data is turned off for my daughter. And then I only use Wi-Fi, and I usually bring an international calling plan, like a card, a calling card, so in case there's an emergency. I will be checking my Facebook and, you know, corresponding and communicating with families in our group so that they know where we are. So just keep that in mind. Okay, rooming. 3 to 4 students per room. Students will only be with other students. They will not be with adults, and they will only be with students of the same gender. And there's a combination, twin, shared beds, double beds, that is, and adults will share a room with other adults, obviously. There is a chance that your student may be roomed with other EF travelers from a different school in our group. There's 2 other small groups going with us. I have never had an issue with this. I've had, you know, my very first trip we did, I had my daughter, who's only a freshman at the time, stay with a group from a different school. It was fine. It worked out great. A lot of students make friends going on tours like this, and so usually by the end they become pretty good friends with people. So, but we'll all take turns. It's not like you'll be stuck with if for some reason we have to room up with another school, you won't be stuck with them the whole time. We take turns, so just keep that in mind. Okay, our meals. Breakfast is always included. It's not a huge American breakfast with like omelets and bacon and, all that stuff. It is a European breakfast where there's cereal, there's bread, juices. It can be very local. I know before when we traveled to France last year, we, had hot chocolate and bread, and that's really what the French eat. And when I was an exchange student, that's what we had almost every morning. So in Germany, we had like a meat buffet in the morning. It was different. So just anticipate not huge breakfasts, okay? Lunch is on our own, so we can really get into those local places and try some new things. And dinners will be a mix of local cuisine as well as like really familiar dishes that are kind of tried and true. And typically they'll be there to feed our whole group. So it's not like ordering from a menu. Food portions are smaller in Europe than they are in the US. Like, that's a shocker. Yeah, so just keep in mind. All right. Table water is always included. If you want like a soda or something else like that, you would have to buy it. Bottled water is included in countries where it's deemed necessary. Italy is not a country that they must provide bottled water. The water is actually pretty good from what I hear. So that's exciting. I need to know about allergies as soon as possible, so keep that in mind. All right, your handbook. You have one of these. They send it out to you. If you do not have one of those, what I think is probably the most important is your safety handbook. We just got ours in the mail, like yesterday. So keep that in mind. And then always check your EF website, so for any, information or anything like that. Okay? All right. The EF backpack that I'm going to give you, and I'm going to give you one of these emergency cards. Oh, that was weird. I don't know what happened there. But this backpack is to be used for things that are not valuable. Pickpockets are pretty common in Europe and especially in Italy. And so I would not keep my camera. I would not keep money, for sure not money, for sure not your passport in here. I keep things I don't really care about. I mean, yeah, I'd be sad if they got lost, but it's nothing that's going to like really ruin my trip. Okay, and then this needs to be on your person all the time. It's the emergency calling instructions, how to reach the local 911, what to do in case of an emergency. That needs to be with you, okay? All right, and then there's a world of sport. EF is a pretty large organization, and they have a lot of numbers, and so parents as well as students have this number down, these numbers right here. Parents, you'll use this one from the U.S. We can use this one right here. If anything should happen, we can go ahead and call, okay? Okay, so I am going to go ahead and go over some of the rules that I set up on Facebook for you guys. So let me pull those up. On our Facebook group, you will see right here, you're going to see the rules, 2015 PDF. This is something that was handed down to Erica Cadelli and I from a long-time EF teacher from a different school. We've kind of, tweaked them a little bit. We've never had to really enforce rules. I mean, the kids from our area and the kids that we travel with are really good kids, and I know it's not going to be a problem, but there's just some basics, okay? Curfew, make sure you're in your room. Don't go wandering. Don't be silly, okay? We need to be safe, and we're going to have a good time. And I don't want to have to put anybody in chaperone jail. That's just silly. Who wants to hang out with me all day? But we just need to be smart. We're in a foreign country, okay? That's why we say, like, never go anywhere alone, really, honestly. We need to be on time. This is group travel, and so we do not want to miss a departure time. We want to make sure we're there and be respectful because it could mean missing out on an attraction or something, all right? And having a watch is key, especially if you keep your phone on airplane mode. You may not, your international clock may not be set up. So have a watch that you can keep handy. And we put on there, don't be stupid. There are people out there that will, hey, let me take your picture. Oh, will you take a picture of us? And you just need to be really smart, have a lot of street smarts, okay? And be really careful. If somebody starts to try to sell you something or anything like that, you don't want to get caught up in anything that could be illegal. Nor is it time to be like wild spring break party, let's do crazy, crazy things, because if you end up in jail, your parents will have to deal with that, okay? 18 years old. You are not allowed to drink unless your parents say it's okay. And I'm going to cover drinking in just a minute because things have changed a little bit on that. So we'll come back. All right. You need to keep a map. Our guide's really good about handing out maps. So keep a map with you at all times. Take a picture of it if you need to, whatever. Just make sure you have a map. Okay. And members of the opposite sex cannot be in the hotel room with each other. Okay. Like, you really need to. If we're doing something as a group, then that's fine. Hold on. Sorry, my dog's being crazy. So keep a map with you, like I said. Do not go into the opposite sex bedroom. You just need to be smart. We do not want anything to happen that could put you in jeopardy or in any accusation or anything like that. So just be wary of that. Behave appropriately on buses. I cannot tell you how rude it is when, like, we'll have guides, really knowledgeable guides, like really amazing historians and people talking to us, and there'll be like some kid chatty. Don't be that kid because that's embarrassing. Just be respectful. I'm sure we won't have a problem, and I'm sure I don't even have to say this, but just please be respectful. Number 9 is pretty big. You guys are going to get so excited and have so much fun. But if you take vitamins, make sure you take them. Make sure you drink lots of water. Kids will get overexcited. There will be huge lack of sleep because you'll want to go and meet people and talk to people and do things. And you need to make sure you get lots of sleep, take your vitamins, drink your water so that you don't get sick, okay? And then last but not least, let's not get wrapped up in drama, okay? It's just silly. And, being wrapped up in drama at home via the cell phone and social media is just silly. Don't let them rob you of your joy of this trip. Okay? So let's keep that in mind. Now, let's go back to the alcohol aspect because some parents might freak out on this. Okay, and I only have a few minutes to do this, but you're going to see I have prohibiting alcohol, the EF new form that says no alcohol. Don't do it. Don't drink. And this is something they've now imposed, especially at like group dinners. There will be no alcohol served unless they're 18. 18, actually 16 is drinking age. But EF is like at those group dinners, students 18 and up can drink. Now, I will tell you that our tour consultant at EF has said, well, students do drink, you need to be responsible. We usually use this form, and this has been handed down to us. And so 16 and above are permitted drinks like beer and wine, so wine tasting. And it's not a booze cruise type of thing, not like let's go see how much we can consume. It is, a lot of Italian culture has, wine. I mean, they have, 5,000 varietals compared to, the United States that does not have nearly as many. So, I mean, that's part of their culture, okay? And we don't want to look ridiculously American by trying to slam down alcohol. That just makes for a really bad tour. So, but there's times where we may have a chance to indulge and to learn more about the culture, and that may involve alcohol. And so if you read this form, it is up to your parents, okay? Fully up to your parents. I don't want to get on tour and be told, oh, my mom changed her mind. No. This form must be signed, and if your parents are going to allow you to have one drink at a cultural event or something like that, then fine. I need this. If they do not want you to drink, I also need it. I need this signed right here. Okay? And the expectation is, again, that this is not a pub crawl, a bar crawl, anything like that. It is purely for cultural experience. So keep that in mind. Okay? We've never had an issue. Usually we have this form signed, and kids are not all about seeing how many drinks they can consume. Typically, it's the schools where they have a 0 drinking policy that those kids are the ones that are trying to sneak around. So I will respect anything that the parents wish, whatever they wish, absolutely not one drink, that's fine. So just let me know, have this signed. When we meet, I will need this information from you. Okay? All right, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me. A lot of stuff will be found right here on our group site. So let me know. I'm looking forward to it, to our time together and to our trip, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.